I am a Japanese. I have not committed any crime, but die only having preached the religion of our Lord, Jesus Christ. I greatly rejoice to die for this cause, because for me, this is a great blessing. I guarantee and affirm that there is no other way to salvation except by the Christian path. A large amount of Japanese Christians were martyred during the Tokugawa Era. The Tokugawa Era, also known as the Edo period, originated in 1603 to 1868. In the year 1600, Tokugawa Ieyasu defeats a coalition of daimyo, which are feudal lords, and establishes hegemony or leadership over Japan. Now in 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu was appointed as shogun by the emperor. A shogun is a powerful military ruler of Japan during the feudal period. During his reign, it was the first real contact with Europeans. Trades were established between the Portuguese, Spanish, and the Dutch. With this European contact, they brought Roman Catholic Christianity, and within a few years, thousands of Japanese were converted from Buddhism, or Shinto, to Christianity. Christianity was seen as a very alien religion, and due to its success, the shogun banned Christianity, and missionaries were either killed or driven out. Another problem Ieyasu encountered was the power imbalance between the hundreds of daimyo under his authority. In order for the greater control of the feudal lords, they were restricted to having only one castle. They were also heavily taxed. Castle upgrades, shipbuilding, and marriage alliances were also monitored, and it required permission from Ieyasu himself. To keep the power of a daimyo and his army of samurai under close regulation to ensure that they wouldn't revolt. And samurai were warriors in Japan. The samurai were trained warriors that fought in total obedience to the daimyo. At the frail age of 72, Ieyasu falls ill and calls his family to his deathbed. And he says, "Because you are my descendants, you will become shogun. As shogun, it is important that you rule the country for the benefit of the people, or you will be punished by heaven. As shogun, you must govern for the good of the country. This world does not belong to the Tokugawas, and cannot be ruled just to satisfy your whims." The third shogun, Tokugawa Iemitsu, was the grandson of Ieyasu. He had inherited the nation at peaceful times, so he had not yet proven himself through battle, unlike the other shoguns. Yet he ruled with an iron hand. To regulate the daimyo, Iemitsu had them travel to Edo, the city where Ieyasu built during his lifetime. The daimyo were to stay their time in Edo, while their families stayed in their own domains. This was a system of alternate attendance, and when the daimyo returned to his own domain, his wife and children stayed in Edo. This left the daimyo virtually powerless. He also created strict inspection barriers at government roads, and also control of class structures, from what you could eat to what you could wear. Iemitsu later offered rewards to arrest those that practiced the Christian faith, who were Japanese. This started the martyring of Christians in Japan. In this time of peace, samurai lived different lives as either laborers or farmers, but were still skilled in battle. Farmers were taxed for childbirth, burials, and were taxed in rice that they were not even allowed to eat. They were punished if they could not pay the taxes to their local daimyo. The traveling of farmers was also prohibited. Both the Christians and the farmers were a brewing storm. So one day, in December 1637, in the Shimibara Peninsula, a young daughter of a farmer was seized and tortured for not paying taxes. The father and his companions murdered the local governor in grief, which caused a revolt of samurai, farmers, and peasants. Later, this event sparked a complete Christian rebellion. This force of now mixed of samurai, Christians, and farmers, they swarmed into an abandoned castle known as the Osaka Castle and barricaded themselves in. Iemitsu was furious and ordered troops to attack the castle and to also eliminate the Christians. The rebels managed to fend off the invaders for 4 months, despite the food shortage that was coming. So Iemitsu now ordered cannons to be sent by the Portuguese, who quickly obeyed because they wanted good trade to remain between the two countries. Osaka later fell, not through brute force of the cannons, but through starvation. An endless slaughter began, and this was the final battle to be seen again in Japan until World War II. After the Battle of Osaka, Iemitsu created some new laws. None of the Japanese people could leave Japan. Those that were already away at sea could not return, and thus Japan was closed to the rest of the world, except very limited trades to the Dutch and Chinese. For 200 years, Japan continued to be ruled by shoguns until the year 1867. The Tokugawa era was significant as it was the first influence of Europeans in Japan through trade and also religion. Through these events, Japan eventually became isolated, and it is through this isolation that provides Japan with some very unique cultural aspects and different ideas of thinking. And thank you for watching!